And welcome to week 4 of my high school football championship series. Just a quick reminder that all of these teams featured in this series are available for use and download in your College Football 26 video game. Simply search my username down there at the bottom, Dreadwin94, and you can download and import any one of these teams into your College Football 26 video game. Make sure you're searching in the username search box and not the keyword search box. All right, so as I said, we are in week 4. This is the week 4 schedule that we're looking at. We've already had two games that we've done on Tuesday night. South Terrebonne at Terrebonne and South Lafourche at Thibodaux are now in the books. So tonight on Thursday, we are doing Central Lafourche at Morgan City and HL at Ellender. So we're going to kick off with these, and we're starting with Central Lafourche at Morgan City. So let's go ahead and get to that. Let's switch to my gameplay. And I've got them lined up and ready to go. So just a reminder that all these teams do feature alternate uniforms. They all feature 5 different uniform options, and we're going to be cycling through those as the season progresses. We've already seen a couple of alternate uniforms. We're going to see some more tonight. So Morgan City, for example, has their basic home uniform that we've seen already, and they've also got an alternate home uniform. And these uniforms are based off of actual uniforms that they do wear. These are, you know, fairly faithful recreations of actual uniforms that they wear. But tonight, we're going into a 5th uniform option that I have for this team. And in some cases, I've tried to recreate actual uniforms in for all of these teams, but in some cases, I have come up with something of my own creation, and we're going to be seeing a pair of those tonight. So, as an alternate uniform for Morgan City, we're going with what I call a black and blue look, just to play on their colors here a little bit, kind of a blackout look. I gave them an alternate Tigers logo right there on their helmet, and just a combination of the black and the blue. So Morgan City will be in this totally 100% created by me uniform option tonight. And similarly, Central Lafourche will also be in a alternate uniform option that I created. This one is a whiteout. I was trying to look for something that I could work with their colors, and most teams have a blackout, but I decided to go a little bit different with Central Lafourche, and I thought the white helmet would look really good with their colors, so I went whiteout on them. So that's what we're going to be seeing tonight. All right, that's the matchup. Let's get to it. Let's see if Morgan City can pull out the upset and get their first win of the season. We have got clear skies this week, and we're going to Morgan City on a Friday night under the Friday night lights. So now I'm going to kick it off to the broadcast booth here, and I'll catch you guys, as always, on the other side once we see how this one shakes out.
Kickoff team is on the field, and we're ready to get this one underway. Returner will field it and try to get some field position. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. Every team has impact players. What traits are you looking for when it comes to players who can make an impact, David?
Well, obviously, you want the main things, right? Speed, physicality, like all power, all those things are really, really good. But you also need guys that will hold people accountable, guys that will lead. And it's nice to have those guys on your team. They're the leaders of the team, and they're the best players.
And part of the reason why they're leaders is because these guys galvanize their teammates, right? We've seen time and time again, these dudes make plays, and it just sparks the sideline. It sparks the coaching staff. It sparks the...
Turning it on. They stay aggressive and push their way out to the 33, and it's first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. challenge, see if he can answer the bell and get things done.
Well, we talked to him this week, and he knows that people are out there questioning him. And I think that leaves a big chip on his shoulder, David. He wants to prove to the entire college football world he's got what it takes to win this football game. This is a big test for him.
And here's the thing, proving it is one thing, Jesse, but it's not about you. And this is a team game. Obviously, the quarterback position is so dependent on others' success, but play within yourself, make those plays, don't make the big mistakes.
3rd and short now. They snap it from their own 46. Got it in the middle. It's Hawkins. Really putting together a threat now. They get the first. It's at the 37. Moving quickly, trying to rattle the D.
Really nice job there by the quarterback, understanding that it's zone coverage on 3rd down. If you're going to have to find someone working into a soft spot, get the ball out of your hands quickly, make an accurate throw, and pick up the first. Well done.
Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. The give to the back. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. It'll be 3rd and long. He's looking downfield to throw. Catch in the middle. It's Hawkins. And boy, is he close to that 1st down. Maybe just a couple of inches short. 4th down second period. First play of the period, first down here. Off the play fake on first down. That's caught. It's Jones. And the defense had that one well covered. Just a short game there.
Got like that big, reliable security blanket. And that's what tight ends are a lot of the times. They're just usually big, huge guys that if I throw it anywhere near him, he's going to pluck it, catch it, and give me some positive yards.
Line getting set on second down. Wants to go up top. Near the marker, it's Marshall. Now the connection takes it to the 11. It's first down from the 11. Wants to go up top on first down. And he drops it. Just took his eye off of it at the last minute. Going to work on second down in the red zone. Is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Back to pass. Under fire. This will be the 8th play of the drive, but a great opportunity for the defense to get off the field. On third and long, doesn't need to take the check down. Bounces into the end zone for a touchdown. I tell you, when this drive started, the defense thought they had them in a hole. Not anymore. What a performance.
And I really like the play calling by the offensive coordinator on that last drive. That was a nice mixture of running and throwing and getting different players involved. Really nice job, very poised in that play calling, and it showed up with a touchdown.
And the extra point pushes the lead to 14. They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Let's see what this offense has dialed up this time. Quickly out to the tight end. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34.
A nice passing game by this offense. The quarterback and the receiver on the same page, in time, in rhythm, creates the big play. And look at them. They're right back on the football, ready to run another play.
The give to the tailback.
Defense came into this one knowing they were going to see some tempo. They've got to get the call from the sidelines, get it communicated, get lined up.
Second down, he'll throw it. Finds a man on the right. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs.
Nice job by the quarterback, seeing the receiver come open, getting him the football, making the first down, and they like to do this. When they make a first down, they want to go fast, they want to crank up the tempo.
Got 6 on first down, now a lot of options on second and 4.
The offense has a little bit of success on the ground, and they're up. Look at them, they're ready to go.
And the defense will corral the quarterback, and down he goes at midfield.
Man, this defense is dominating all game long. They have been making this quarterback's life so difficult with their pass rush. They bring him down there for the sack. They're not giving anything up. They're leading this game by a lot. We're only in the second quarter, and this ain't going to change unless this offense can find a rhythm.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On third and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. Got him in the open. There he goes. Chopping up this defense, and they've got it all the way down to the 23.
How great is it to have a running back who can basically run your entire route tree? You don't see a lot of guys line up and then run vertically down the field, get open, and make a big play. This dude is special.
They have been stagnant on offense, but finally a little forward movement as they've got a 1st and 10. It's complete. And he's brought down after a nice gain. This defense might be reeling after those last 2 and now facing 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And he barrels into the end zone for a
just do it, but go down and score a touchdown. Running and throwing for this offense now moving forward in this game, that last drive is going to pay big dividends.
And after the extra point, they've cut the lead in half, down 14-7. They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. He'll start the return inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Here comes the offense back onto the field. The give to the single back. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. To the air on second down. Here's a heat. Catch in the middle. It's Marshall. And he gets it to the 44-yard line. It'll be a first down. This offense is like running a perfection drill in practice against air. Chunk play after chunk play, and here they come again. And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there. Backed up now, here's second and long. Looking to fire. Snagged in the middle, it's Marshall. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. On third and short, they'll ride the running back here. He did not make it a stone wall on third down. Hunt is on its way. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. Oh, he got loose. They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the first down. Down to 2 minutes to play. We'll take the timeout. They'll talk it over. A chance to tie or even take the lead before the break. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. So now it's second and long. Wants to go up top. Finds the tight end. And he was knocked down immediately. Very short pickup on that. Got to get to the line quickly for this third down play. Here comes the heat. Pressure is on the way, and the pressure has arrived, and down he goes at the 30. Timeout call here by the defense is the first one they've used this half. They boot it away. Fair catch is collected at the 24, and that's where they'll start this drive. Quarterback and running back set up in the pistol. On the run, it's Murray. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe, second and 7. Kept it on the ground on first down, now back to the line. Incomplete, and he threw that one up for grabs and into traffic, and fortunate to get it back. Let's see what call they have on third and long from the 28. From the gun, wants to pass. Caught over the middle, it's Richard. And the big gain, they've got it on the 46.
Wow, and what a great job by that quarterback, finding his open receiver on third down. You know, guys, one of the most telling stats at the end of the game is third down conversion percentage. If you're a great third down team, it's invaluable to your offensive success, and that's why teams drill third down so much in practice.
The offense setting up shop at the 46, first and 10. Got a man, it's Marshall. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
I like the slot receiver because he gives his quarterback a good option working the middle of the field. He's a nice weapon in this offense.
Now on second down. Grab near the sticks. It's Richard. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. They'll snap it from the 34 on first and 10. Looking to throw on first down. That's caught. It's Richard. Stopped after a good pickup this offense coming back out onto the field. To the air on first down. Unloads to the wideout. Oh, did he find a hole in the defense? They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks. They couldn't draw up a better way to start a drive, and now they've got it 1st and 10 from the 41. They'll give it to the back.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough. But how important
possession to the punt team. He was able to get that ball up to the 48-yard line before he stopped on the return. All right, guys, so here's the offense back on the field again. Punts it out of the air. Good pickup, a little bit short of the sticks. Got some of the work done on first down. Let's see what they have on second down. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. Looking to pick up a first down on third and short from the 43. They'll run the sneak for it. Nice job to pick up the first down, and they'll spot it at the 42. So they move the sticks on the run. Let's see what they do with this one. Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. Caught in the backfield, it's Gilliam. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Working well behind the sticks on second down. From the gun, running back gets the give. Past the 30. Smashes ahead. They'll ride him out of bounds after the good pickup spotted at the 25-yard line.
And the offense with a nice run, breaks off a little bit of run, gets a first down. Oh, and here they go again. First down, you've seen this. They like to go fast.
And wings it incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on first down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Deficit like this, it's all about somebody stepping up to make a play, and you might as well start here in the fourth quarter. Leaves it with the back. Oh, better look out! Breaks the tackle. He'll go out of bounds at the 21-yard line. It's a one-score game lead, and they've got to go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down.
Trying to catch the defense off guard, throwing for it, but no protection. Quarterback didn't have an opportunity to step up and get rid of that football. Give the defense credit, man. Tremendous aggression there on fourth.
Offense making its way onto the field to start the drive. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, and hoping for better fortune this time around. He wants to start this drive with a pass. They get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20. They'll tell you this, somebody's always going to pop open, but it didn't happen in time before they got the sack.
No, it did not. And you know what? I'm going to remember this. I'm going to remember zone defense. They didn't really have an answer. They weren't ready to get rid of the football. Quarterback hesitated. I got to him and got him on the ground. Might be a good call later on in the game.
Didn't help themselves much on first down. Let's see what they've got on second down from the 20. That pass is incomplete. Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. Third and long, backed up inside their 20. Under fire. Man, did he pay for it with that hit as he got rid of the ball. The punt team makes its way onto the field. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. He gets a block. Coverage team able to put a stop to that return at the 42-yard line. So guys, we'll get another
second and third, and he shows you the vision and shows you the speed. I just love how decisive he is. He's getting north right away.
And third down and long, man, everything in you knows it's a pass. Surely they're not going to run the football. But I think what you said is important, having a guy like this that can chew up yards so quickly. Because I'm thinking just make the tackle. No big deal. Force the fourth down. Man, what a nice play by the running back.
It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. One man in the backfield, and he gets it. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on
Well, 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 what a game. Wow. So Morgan City does pull off the upset against Central Lafourche. Wow, I'm a little speechless, guys. Wow. By far, I think by far, their best offensive performance of the season so far by Morgan City. And the defense was solid too. Great effort all around. I love how competitive this game was. And it just goes to show even the lower rated teams, I mean Morgan City's rated quite a bit lower than Central Lafourche, still has a chance to pull off the upset. Great game. Let's go ahead and go through the stats here. Yeah, Abram Hartley, probably his best game of the season here. 21 to 34, 247 yards passing, two touchdowns, no interceptions. I think that's hands down his best performance of the season. Let's move on to the rushing. They were really able to move the ball, at least early in the first half, on the ground quite a bit. It kind of slowed down a little bit in the second half, and that's kind of typical for Morgan City, I've noticed. They've gotten off to some good starts early in previous games. They just were never able to capitalize off of those starts and actually put points on the boards. That was something that they were able to do differently in this game, getting off to a quick start and actually capitalizing and putting points on the board, getting in the end zone and getting up by two scores at one point, 14 nothing. Um, and then it looked like they kind of ran out of gas a little bit in the second half. I thought maybe Central was going to come back on them, and they did. They came back and tied it there at the end. But they were able, Morgan City was still able to put together that final drive and some clutch plays there to give them a field goal to finally go out on top and win their first game of the season. Wow, I'm still stunned at this one, folks. I really didn't expect Morgan City to pull this one out. So we've had some really good games this week so far. Um, yeah, I mean, all of our games this week so far in week 4 have been one score games, and this was no exception. So hopefully our next game won't disappoint because it's been an exciting week of football here in my high school football championship series. Let's move on to the Central Lafourche stats real quick, and then we'll wrap this one up with some final thoughts. But yeah, let's see, Kobe Savoy, 27 to 42. He had to put the ball in the air quite a bit here. 260 yards passing. Not a bad day. 64% completion percentage and one touchdown. Not a bad day at all for him. They just didn't quite have enough to get it done. And of course, that negative yardage, that's coming from sacks. Quite a few sacks in this game. I tell you what, though, this guy right here, Byron Thomas, he is a playmaker for them. He made some really good runs in this game. Had that touchdown run. Him and Gilliam, both these two, kind of a two-headed monster right here for this team. And then, you know what? This guy came out and made a couple plays too. He had, I think it was 3rd and 20, and they handed it off to this kid just out of nowhere, and rips off a 20-yard run for a touchdown. So, yeah, that was interesting. And I just made a comment in the chat about how it seems like the CPU always, at least I would say, if I had to guess, I would say about 80% of the time is what it feels like when it's third and long, they just go with a deep bomb, and uh, and then that time it was third and long, and when they needed to go for a deep bomb, they just hand the ball off, and he rips off a 20-yard run. So go figure, right? Um, but yeah, here's these are the receiving stats. So once again, I can't keep track of these stats in game, so I'll go through these at the end of every game for anyone that wants to keep track at home. Hit the pause screen, and you can keep track of some of these stats at home if that's what you'd like to do. So just kind of go through them, take a quick peek at them, and then we move on. Because I have to use play it now mode. I can't put this into like an actual season or anything where it'll keep track of all this stuff. So all right, that looks like that'll do it. So Morgan City, with the upset victory, claims their first win of the season over Central Lafourche. What a game. That was a heck of a game. I really enjoyed that one. All right, we're going to call it here. Let me hit my pause screen while I get things set up in the background, and then we'll be right back with our final game for week 4. Stay with me. Be right back.